There's also this guy right here. He's mad at me. We'll be doing that.
Well, well, well. Actual Jake responded to a video I made about him on his live stream. Chud is mad at me, wants to sex John Doyle. That's me. I'm the Chud. I kinda hate these in a way because I don't like going over my own videos. I'll be skipping over a lot of the stream because a lot of it was just insults back and forth. And that's my fault. I was quite feisty towards him in my original video, so it's normal that he's gonna reciprocate. I do apologize for the insults I threw his way. I make the videos without it in mind that they're going to be watching it. It makes for funnier content if you can be flippant. And I do get triggered when content creators blithely dismiss the other side as evil or Nazis. But that being said, the personal attacks were uncalled for.
This is someone called The Final Answer, which sounds like Nazi stuff. Don't know if it is. Probably, though.
3 milliseconds into the video, and we get the Nazi accusation. I probably will be changing that name when the time is right. Anyway.
Maybe you seem to have some form of erectile dysfunction, even if you're very young.
What? I've personally never had a problem.
I'm not saying that because I don't have erectile dysfunction isn't a thing. I clearly didn't say erectile dysfunction isn't a thing. I think you're nitpicking because you're mad at me. I think you're a little nitpicking guy.
Speaking about new channel names, Little Nitpicking Guy isn't half bad. I know you know erectile dysfunction exists, but I don't understand why you're laughing at it if you know it's a problem. And furthermore, I can't understand why you share your personal experience as if it dismisses his point somehow.
Yeah, I guess. If you are a right-wing guy and you are worried about your porn brain making you have erectile dysfunction, yeah, I mean, that's funny to me. I'll shame you for that. For sure, yeah, I agree.
Well, there you go. He was pretending he was just laughing at John Doyle, but now we've extended it to all right-wing guys. It's really evident with these lefties that they just consider right-wingers evil. You're a right-winger and expressing some problems? Nah, I can laugh at you and dismiss them. Also, the left is really empathetic, which is what he'll try and claim later.
He doesn't even know why he doesn't like me. This is a new one. I'm not too smart for him, I'm too woke for him.
Just to be clear, like I said, I was probably triggered at the time, but I don't dislike you.
Oh, but he's a conservative, so he's like, ooh, we're talking about peepees.
Yeah.
No, it's not because
Yes.
the conversation is sexual in nature. It's
Okay, why?
because people are embarrassed to talk about a delicate situation.
Okay, wow, you just blew right past yourself there. Okay, so why is it a delicate situation? Because it's sexual. You're welcome! Thanks, buddy. It's not because it's sexual, it's because it's delicate. Why? What's the delicacy here? That you're dancing around? The sexual nature of it? Dumbass. Fantastic.
He cut me off mid-sentence before I could finish. Especially when there's people like you calling them weird and laughing at their issues and concerns. Point being that it's not because it's sexual in nature, it's the reaction you can get from other people. If I can't lift a lot at the gym, I might be ashamed to tell people that. Not because it's sexual in nature, but because they could look down on me or make fun of me.
I'm definitely laughing at John Doyle's specific issues and concerns, and every true right-wing freak, but white right-wing freak. When you're a hypocrite about this stuff, when I'm talking about sex and sexuality, you should not be embarrassed to talk about your erectile dysfunction, man. I mean, that's toxic masculinity, I think.
That's toxic masculinity. You should be able to talk about your feelings. But if you're a right-winger, I will make fun of you.
If you are a right-wing guy and you are worried about your porn brain making you have erectile dysfunction, yeah, I mean, that's funny to me. I'll shame you for that, for sure, yeah.
No society has ever faced anything like this before. If you care about this country,
For the record, and I understand, like, to the degree that we have access to it, no country, I mean, other countries have porn. I don't know what he's talking about, but
The reason you don't know what he's talking about is because you misheard him. He didn't say no other country. He said no other society.
no society.
Okay. So when he says society, does he mean Western society? Would he include like Japan in that? Or India or any of those places? Russia? I don't know. Is he just Western society, dude?
Country and society are not synonymous. Clearly, when he's referencing societies in this context, there's a temporal aspect. He's talking about societies across time. I think it's fairly uncontroversial to say that porn addiction in its present form is pretty unprecedented.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, I agree that the degree to which we have access to, like, the access to porn through the internet is higher than the access to porn through, like, pottery and fucking, pamphlets and shit.
It's not just about access, though. It's also about the quality, for lack of a better word. Like, are we really comparing this to what you might find on browsers? Also, the quantity is different. There's so much porn out there. It can pretty much satisfy every niche that you could possibly think of. If I had a niche in Pompeii, I'd have to ask Demetrius to go ahead and paint me up a new one.
It's like women and men are going to have a different kind of relationship with sex because of the way the patriarchy works, man. You're not ready for that conversation, though. You can't even, like, listen to the words that are being said.
Yeah, the patriarchy is the reason that men and women have different approaches to sex. Nothing to do with biology. Oh yeah, I forgot, we don't believe in biology here.
Well, the main selection pressure that creates most of these sex differences is the sex difference in reproductive variability, or in other words, the sex difference in the maximum offspring number. So basically, men and a lot of male animals potentially can have many, many more offspring than any female, even the most successful female can have.
Evolutionary psychologist, that just sounds like another fancy word for Nazi. Actual Jake will later accuse me of, quote-unquote, hiding behind books. But I am currently reading Behave by Robert Sapolsky, a neuroscientist and primatologist. And in a footnote within the book, he says, about the brain, he says that there's a world of sex differences. Responses to sexually arousing visual stimuli are greater in men than in women. Remarkably, this difference isn't specific to humans.
I've had people come up to me at events with tears in their eyes talking to me about how this issue has affected them.
That's so funny.
Dude, you gotta be down pretty fucking bad to go to a convention and see John Doyle, get tears in your eyes, and walk up to him and be like, "You're the only thing that's kept me from touching my dick."
Yeah, this is the empathetic left that we hear so much about. Someone came to John and expressed gratitude that they helped him deal with this issue, and the obvious response is to laugh at them.
You can cry. Will you, hey, next time you make a video about me, will you do a little, can I see a camera? We could crowdfund you a webcam if you need $50. We can crowdfund you a webcam, and then you can have like a little thing. I want to see the tears in your eyes as you get sad that I'm making fun of sad guys that admit to John Doyle they have erectile dysfunction at Republican conventions, which is not the venue for that, for the record, just so you know.
I would love to show my face on camera. Unfortunately, the left loves cancel culture, so I won't be doing that just yet. He's quickly ditched the facade that he's only making fun of John Doyle. He now admits to making fun of a John Doyle fan for no reason.
When I'm talking about sex and sexuality, you should not be embarrassed to talk about your erectile dysfunction, man. That's toxic masculinity.
You should be able to talk about these things, but I will make fun of you if it's in the wrong venue.
You are crying because you masturbate too much.
You can't say that you understand it's a genuine problem and sympathize with it, and then turn around and make fun of it. I understand obesity is a serious problem nowadays, but you're literally crying because you eat too much. What is wrong with you? Those two opinions don't really dovetail all that well.
Stop touching your dick. That's the end of it. That's really the point I was trying to make. Stop touching your dick.
Oh wow, it's that simple. That's the cure to any addiction. Just stop doing it. Huh. I'll go down to the city centre, find all the meth addicts, gather them round and tell them that I've fixed all their problems. Just stop taking meth. It's that simple. How did we not think of this?
I really feel for anyone that has like an actual addiction to porn. Stop touching your dick. That's the end of it.
Again, it's pretty clear you're not sympathetic. I know. We're gonna do the mental gymnastics. No, I do care about people with porn addiction. I was just talking about certain people. In that case, I don't care, or something, probably.
There are very few, like, reasonable people that have porn addictions, man. It can happen, but most of them, like, kind of get themselves out of it, and they're like, oh shit, I have a problem.
Now, when I first heard this, I thought Actual Jake was just talking shite and presenting his opinions as fact. Clearly, he's done his research beforehand. So I found the study that he was referring to. And here it is, pretty much verbatim what Actual Jake said. Very few reasonable people are addicted to porn. It can happen, but most of them are like, oh shit, and get themselves out of it. Obviously the joke here being that Actual Jake doesn't know what he's talking about. That's clearly his opinion, and he clearly hasn't spoken to a lot of porn addicts. I didn't believe that to be true. And coincidentally, I was just reading in a book called The...
Oh, you're a book guy too? I mean, you can read books, it's whatever, but like, there's... I could kind of tell. He had already done it. Guys like this will hide behind, I read a book and it said this. I mean, who the fuck is this guy? Is he a dumbass?
I know, us conservatives hiding behind our research and our books and our studies. Why do you do research when you have these feelings and that tingly sensation in your stomach that forms your opinions? There is a lot more to the stream where Actual Jake just kind of denies the research that I present. And if folks are interested, I can do a part 2 and respond to the full thing. This just came out of the blue and I was already working on something else.